Good morning, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video discussion concerning powerful Hurricane Irma. Winds now 120 miles per hour. The pressure has dropped to 944 millibars, and it is still moving to the west-southwest, losing latitude, meaning that it is moving south of due west at about 14 miles per hour. The hurricane warnings are now issued for portions of the leewards. Hurricane watch is now in effect for the British and U.S. Virgin Islands, as well as Puerto Rico. If we look at the track map for the next 5 days, you can see Irma headed for portions of the islands here. The core may be passing very close to some of these islands in here, and any wobbles north or south and any more latitude that this loses or gains is going to have huge implications for what happens over here in the northern Leeward Islands, as well as the U.S. British Virgin Islands. Unfortunately, it looks like more for the British Virgin Islands, but you never know. If it loses too much latitude and comes on the southern part of this envelope of the cone, then Puerto Rico could take a direct hit. Focusing on the exact center, not a good idea. You want to look at this as a large weather feature, and you can get an idea of this. This is the area of tropical storm force winds, and this entire area, let's just assume it stays the same size roughly, like that. Let's say it's right here, and the center of circulation, the eye, is here in, a couple of days. Well, there you go. U.S. British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, those areas would be experiencing hurricane force winds for sure, as those extend out about 35 miles from the center. So those could reach down and just brush areas such as the British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. The point is, the dot, the center line, is not what you want to focus on. It's the overall impact of the wind field, which the tropical storm force winds do extend out 140 miles from the center. Looking at the wide picture animation, this is the black and white infrared, and you can see a very well developed hurricane with the eye right in the middle of the cloud cover, indicating a strengthening system. And if we zoom in on the visible satellite animation this morning, very well developed. You can see the eye very clear. It has become warmer inside the eye, which is an indication of strengthening, and these bands feeding into it. Everything's well established. It's over very warm water, and in fact, those water temperatures are just going to increase the farther west that this tracks, and you can see that on the upper ocean heat content map. Irma currently located about right in here with the center, and it's forecast to head off in this direction, something like this, over the next few days, moving into ever-increasing upper ocean heat content values. And if it gets far enough west, as the Hurricane Center map showed, close to the north coast of Cuba here, through the Turks and Caicos and the southern Bahamas, those upper ocean heat content values are starting to get into the upper quarter of the scale, meaning that that's some very high energy values in the Atlantic there. In terms of the impacts, again, let's zoom in on this using the Google Maps. So assuming, and you just need to assume this by now, just err on the side of caution. Let's assume that the center cuts right through some of these islands like this, the center, the eye, and that could put it right over some of these islands. It could be a little bit more north. It could come in a little bit more south. You just never know. But you folks down here really need to just assume it's going to come for you. The core with those Category 3, maybe Category 4 winds. There will be very dangerous surf conditions, obviously, on the windward sides of these beaches. Ports and harbors facing the windward side, big trouble there. These coves that are down there. It's been a while since an intense hurricane passed through this region, so you folks down here need to be preparing now and get it over with and be ready as this plows through. We will have modern radar over on Puerto Rico, U.S.-generated NEXRAD radar that we can tap into as this gets closer in the next couple of days. And we'll certainly, Hurricane Pro on social media, on Twitter, can tweet that for you to see, and I will show it as well in video updates to come. Now, I know a lot of people are certainly concerned about this in the northwest Bahamas, the southeast United States, and of course now ever increasingly the peninsula of Florida becoming under close scrutiny here, as this could come up and then try to maybe turn up to the north and northwest. It may do so sooner. We'll just have to see. It can continue on in a general path like this into the southeast Gulf of Mexico. We just don't know yet. That's not trying to keep people strung along so they'll tune in. Those are the facts. I mean, we have a 5-day forecast now. Would it be helpful if we had a 7-day forecast? Maybe. But the error at the 5-day position is around 225 miles. So it literally could be here, or over here somewhere, or over here somewhere, the center, from where it is right here, as an example. And that's at day 5. So speculating out at days 6 and 7, unfortunately, it's not very helpful. So we're going to have to just keep watching. But the first area of the greatest concern is down here in the northeast corner of the Caribbean Sea. All right, that's all I know for now. As we update information, you can certainly, like I said, follow along Hurricane Pro on Twitter. I am at Hurricane Track, Hurricane TRACK on Twitter, so you can follow me as well. And I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website, of course. For Hurricane Pro and HD, hopefully these videos are helpful for you. I'll keep providing them all week long. I'll have another one for you tomorrow morning.